I'm Elizabeth Walecki. I'm a fashion and textiles design graduate from Montfort University. So that's based in England, and I'm based in Swindon currently because of Corona. So my final project was called Principles of Science in Dress, Matter, Form and Motion. And really it was important for me to encapsulate something that I am really interested in. I mean, at school and even at college, I loved science and it was subjects that I always excelled in. So placing that in something I absolutely love, obviously I'm a much more hands-on creative person. Putting those two ideologies together was just so much fun for me, and I think it's kind of refreshing. It's not something that's very much touched upon, and so it worked well with my kind of sciencey brain but also my hands-on approach to things. It was basically one big experiment. I wanted to see how different properties of yarn could then respond with the body to cause a different state, a different outcome. Much like when we put on our own clothes, we are causing it to have a different state. The way we wear things, the way just even the properties of the material wear over time, they're never the same. It's always a new outcome, much like particle collision and the unpredictability of it all. When we wash our clothes, they then shrink more, and it's just this continual evolution of cloth, which I find really, really interesting. So looking at the different states of solid, liquid and gas and translating that into knitwear was also really fun. I mean, it meant that I had to look into the properties of the yarn that I was using to try and recreate those kind of properties. So I used quite a lot of felting yarn for the more condensed areas, as well as elastometric that really just sucked everything in and condensed, compared to the more viscose drapey yarns that had that beautiful sheen and luster. And obviously putting them two together, it caused different things to happen, because when knitting, obviously sections that are elastic compared to the loose drapiness caused then a big shift. But on the knitting machine, they were both parallel because of the weight, but then when it was taken off and released, it then gave this different approach, and I think that was really interesting. And then not only was that off the hanger, but when worn on the body, it was another element involved. It was another element that changed its properties again, and it was this cycle of unpredictability and experimentation that I just loved. And I think that's why it was really important to make that fashion film of how the cloth interacted with it all. Obviously I had big plans and it was a lot different because of how Corona played out, but I mean, it gave me an insight into how to film things and using different softwares that I perhaps wouldn't have used like if Corona didn't happen, because I was so workshop based and at university, and so it gave me a different outlook. It was really interesting and I did really enjoy this project. It was a nice way to showcase all the things that I've learnt and developed on in the past 4 years, working in an industry from commercial to high-end knitwear, translating that and being really self-indulgent with my yarn choices. So there was cashmere involved and beautiful like British wools, which I really, really like to use, and hand dyeing my yarns. So yeah, that was a bit of an insight into my design process and concept. Thank you.